Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. I'm Kristi Shive, and this morning we're visiting with Annhall Norris. She's an extension specialist for food preservation and food safety for the University of Kentucky. Good morning, Annhall.
Good morning, Kristi. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being with us today. Now, Annhall, many people are gearing up to freeze their summer produce, and today you are going to walk us through some steps on how we can best freeze that produce.
Yes, I love talking about freezing because freezing is my favorite method of food preservation. It is a lot less work than canning or dehydrating, and you don't need all that special equipment, just the right containers and a freezer. And so I'm going to start by talking about the containers. And you want to make sure that you have containers that are made for freezing. If you're going to purchase products, you want to make sure they have made for freezing on the label. If you're going to repurpose something from home, you want to make sure that it's rigid. It doesn't bend easily when you press. If it's soft like this and bends, it's not going to be appropriate for freezing. And then your glass canning jars are also perfect for freezing. A lot of people don't realize you can freeze in glass, but you can. The important thing to remember when you're freezing in a plastic container or especially glass is that you want to leave a little bit of room at the top. It's called headspace, because when a product freezes, it expands. And if you haven't left any room for that product to expand in this glass jar, it will break. So always leave between a ½ inch or an inch and a half when you're filling up a glass container or a plastic container for freezing.
And choosing the right container will help ensure that our food is lasting longer. How long can we expect for our freezer food to last?
Well, depending on the type of container, it could last anywhere from 6 to 9 months or 2 to 3 years. Now, it's important to remember that once that food is frozen, it is safe to eat. It is safe as long as it's frozen. Once it's thawed, you might notice freezer burn, which is not a food safety issue. It's just a quality issue. That part of the food is not going to taste the same. It's going to have a different texture. So be sure to check our publication on how long to keep stored foods in the refrigerator or freezer for the best quality.
Now, sometimes when meat is on sale, we will purchase it in bulk. What is the best way to freeze that meat?
Well, the best way is to take it home and separate it out. You want to freeze in small quantities, maybe what you might need for a meal. And you can wrap that. Another type of container is freezer wrap or plastic wrap that's made for freezing. And so a good thing is to wrap that meat. And then if you want to put it in one of these containers, you can, but it's not necessary. You can wrap it and put it in a freezer bag. Make sure the bag is labeled for freezing. The important thing is to get all of the air out, remove as much air as possible, because any air left in that wrapping or that container will cause freezer burn. And so here's where I like to put in my plug for a vacuum sealer. I have one and they're great. It's all in one. You just push a button, it removes the air. Product is ready. It's flat. It doesn't take up very much space. And so that is actually your freezer's best friend, is a vacuum sealer.
It sounds like a great investment if you're somebody who likes to freeze that produce that you've had all summer long. Now, Annhall, are there any warning signs that we should look out for whenever we do pull that food out to eat? Are there any signs that we should look for that might signal that the food is not good?
Well, freezer burn can appear as a grayish or white type of spot. You'll notice it especially on meat, and your berries won't be that bright color. They might have some white flecks on it, and that's freezer burn. So definitely look for that off color. It's usually a gray or white color. And sometimes on meat, you can cut that part out and the rest of the product is good, but you definitely don't want to eat that. It's not going to taste the same or have the same texture.
Annhall, do we have any extension publications that people can access?
Yes, there are a couple of publications. One is on how to freeze properly, and then the other is on storage times.
All right, great. If you are watching and would like access to those extension publications, be sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.